pretty good. Offense has not. We'll see what's different now. But that's not the story this week as we welcome in Matt DePay, the voice of the Badgers. The story is Chris McIntosh, who we'll hear from. You had a conversation with him, our Minute with Matt, coming up in a little bit. But it's about the retention and the announced retention of Luke Fickell, which caught some people by surprise. It is a vote of confidence, and there's a lot of reaction on both sides, more on one side than the other.
Yeah, I think, definitely more on one side than the other. I think it was maybe a surprise to some, Mike, and probably very little surprise to others because of the letter that McIntosh had sent out in the last couple of weeks. I think one of the reasons, and he's talked about it in part of the media tour here, is that you do have signing day. The early signing period is about 3 weeks away now. A couple of guys who have verbally committed have had a change of hearts and are going elsewhere, and you're trying to assure that class that the coach and the staff that's been recruiting you will be here next year. That is a part of it, and they have talked about it. They have admitted that they need to do a better job of providing resources for football and maybe all the sports, but especially football right now. So this is where they are, and I think the reaction out there didn't surprise the decision maker or just those involved in the decision makers plural. And now it's okay. Let's see what you can do. Luke Fickell has talked openly, at least on his radio show, about how you got to get out more. You got to get out there and press the flesh, meet people. When he does it, he's pretty good. He doesn't do it nearly enough, and he is owning that. So those are the kind of things moving forward. I heard Mark Tauscher the other day on his show where it's like winning back the hearts and minds, and I think it's more of a military description, but it applies here because you have a lot of people who have been very disappointed. They're angry. You are always concerned about apathy, so you have to go out there and show people that you are genuine in what you want to do here and how you want to do it, and let people get to know you a little bit. It worked in a much different set of circumstances, but it worked for Barry Alvarez in a big way. When he got here in 1990, he was building a roster, and he was out all across the state drumming up interest. Probably something similar to that's going to be in order now.
Matt, when you talk about resources, a lot of people, including me, have focused on money, but it's deeper than money. Money is a significant part of it, but resources are also in player personnel, both in recruitment and retention, and identifying the players that you want and or need, and that is something that is lacked.
Yeah, and they have talked about looking at every aspect of the program. Now, exactly what that will mean remains to be seen. But I think fans wonder. Yes, you understand that more money is needed, but you still have to be able to identify, evaluate, and then acquire or recruit, whatever term you want to use. You have to show the ability to do that. So I think to say it's just money, I think is misguided. To blow it off and say it has nothing to do with it is equally misguided. There are a lot of things that they understand that they have to do a lot better. And now I think we're all just eager to see what that process is. As you said, our Minute with Mac is probably closer to 3.5 or 4 minutes. There were 7 words that he said in his interview with Jesse Temple that set off a little firestorm, so asked him to elaborate on that. The one thing that I would say, and I've already said this already on other various shows, you can disagree with the decision. I cannot tell you how to fan however you want to fan. But don't mistake Chris McIntosh with someone who thinks that wins and losses don't matter. First of all, he never put it exactly that way, but he's the kind of guy that as a player here stood up after a ball game and told his team he didn't come here to play in the bleeping Outback Bowl. He came here to win Rose Bowls, which is what they did. So he understands that winning is important. You can disagree with the method. They have made mistakes, to be sure, but don't think that this guy is not a fierce competitor. But now, as we all know, you've got to turn that into results. And Luke Fickell, Chris McIntosh, everybody concerned knows that.
Part of the conversation about player development, recruitment, retention revolves around the quarterback. Let's go to the quarterback position. We'll see a return to Danny O'Neil today. He's going to get the start.
Yeah, we'll see Danny O'Neil there, and then